This is Drive Live with Tim Elliott and Richard Dean.
Now, we're going to finish off today with a trip down, if you like, to the ATM. And it's really looking in a little bit of detail at Dubai's plans to diversify luxury-heavy hotel portfolios. There is some change. There is some diversification in the sector. And it's really kind of ahead of 2020 and Expo. Homegrown budget hotel brand, which was shelved during the downturn, has been relaunched at this year's Arabian travel market. Ecos Hotels has been developed by Hospitality Management Holdings. It's a concept that combines kind of no-frills, bed and breakfast services stuff with an eco-friendly setup. So you can see that that's a fairly welcome marriage for a lot of people, a lot of ecologically aware people. Now, Lucy's been down at the ATM all this week, Lucy Taylor from the Travel Show, and she spoke to HMH CEO, that's Hospitality Management Holdings CEO, Laurent Voivenel. It's about the brand's comeback, first of all, and a bright future for budget and mid-range hotels in Dubai.
Yesterday we were extremely proud to invite all the press for the launching of our new brand, corporate brand identity, Coral. After 11 years it was time definitely to do a change in order to fit not only the business of the future but also to fit the needs of the digital space. And we decided to restructure the entire brand identity to create a logo which is maybe less space in order for us to have more visibilities when it comes to the web without going to scroll down. So that was the launching of the brand. It was also the announcement of 4 new openings, Coral before the end of the year, Muscat, Sport City, Beirut and Riyadh. So that was quite a big announcement also for us. And on the top of that, we are also refurbishing 2 of our hotels, which means that actually 85% of our Coral portfolio by the end of the year will be totally brand new or renovated.
So that's a pretty big Coral renovation, and I imagine this is in line with the fact that we're going to be seeing so much more footfall, positioning Coral ahead of 2020.
Well, let's put it this way, we did not reposition Coral because of 2020. 2020 is a milestone, it's a nice cherry on the pie. But at the end of the day, we all know that 2020 is going to be extremely busy, but it's also a very important period where we are all anyway busy. So 2020 is, for me, not the opportunity of 2020 for 2020 and obviously until April 21. It's more what 2020 is going to promote Dubai for after 2020. Because we know very well that expo is going to expose Dubai to the world even much more than what it is now. Dubai is going to take a new dimension because of the infrastructure that basically Dubai is putting in place. And we are not looking at 2020 as for 2020, but we are looking at 2020 for 21 and plus. Now, the second reason why we are going to cater absolutely the global presence of tourism basically in Dubai, not only by 2020 but after, is because we are going to launch, and we are launching actually today, the relaunch, should I say, of Ecos. Why the relaunch? Ecos was presented to the press several years ago, and unfortunately, even if Ecos was extremely successful, very well received by the press, even won the award as the most innovative brand, we were hit by the recessions. I should not say recessions in Dubai, but we were hit by the economic crisis. And then after that, when we were on the way almost to relaunch Ecos again, we had the Arab Spring. And that did not help either. So we waited really to see what was the best time to relaunch Ecos, with what partner we will be doing it. And most probably, we should be able to sign 2 contracts in the next few months with the opening plan during 2016.
I actually was at my first ATM when it was originally announced, the original Ecos project, and interviewed Mr. Noblet about it then, and
Absolutely.
thought it was a great concept. So tell me a little bit about the concept for people who aren't familiar with it, because it's got an ecological angle which is very unusual in the budget segment.
Not only it's economical, but it's also ecological angle, as you said. At the moment we are looking at 2 possibilities with the Ecos brand, the Ecos and the Eco Plus. I call it Eco Plus, but this is not the final name. Basically, the Ecos will be pretty much B&B, bed and breakfast. You have a room, clean, absolutely fantastic, 24 square meters, sleep 3 people, accommodate 3 people in the bathrooms at the same time, because it's all isolated space, so you can basically use the bathroom at the same time. Rooms and breakfast, really B&B, except it's very modern, very stylish, quite very IT oriented, attracting obviously families and young people, which cannot always pay 2,000 dirham to be on the beach in Dubai. So we are looking at key location strategic, obviously. However, we are looking most probably, and actually we are looking at opening our 2 properties in Dubai. One will be most probably, and this time it's correct, most probably at the Dubai Land, and the other one, let's say near metro stations.
Okay. That's suitably vague. It's got a few of them.
No, but I have to be very careful. Competitors are also looking into it.
Absolutely. And the ecological angle of these properties?
Okay, well, it is also the goal of HMH to reduce by 20% 2020 energy and water consumptions. So we are doing absolutely everything we can at the moment. We put a system in place, we put a control in place, we put a program in place which will be controlled by an outsourced company to make sure that we are reaching our goals of reducing 2020 by 2020. Now, the concept of ECOS was creating everything's about ecologic and economic. The material which are going to be used, everything is sustainable, everything is recyclable. All the lightings is going to be power energy saving. All the floor, the wood, if you look at the facade of the hotels, everything is really green, wood, treated, non-prettified wood, which will be lasting for over 20 years. So it's all the concept is how can we minimize the cost, make it extremely elegant, and still be able to deliver absolutely a stunning product.
How much have you had to develop and improve the product since its original launch a few years back?
Very, very good questions. The very first thing that we've done is when we decided to relaunch the program, we went back to our customer, we went back to our owners and said, okay, based on what was done before, what do you suggest should be added to the project? 2 things came back. And the 2 things have been immediately put into place and will be actually part of the program and the design. The number 1 is we need to have twin beds. It may sound ridiculous, but at the beginning, that was not the concept. The concept was only to have king-size bed and to have potential, as you can see on the picture, a bed / sofa. So, and they said, okay, queen-size bed is fine, but sometimes people may want also to have twin beds. And say, okay, not a problem. So we basically enlarged the bed. We did not create a space in between. We will create a border in between in order for us basically to put the lampshade. So we increased the size. We put 2 mattresses, totally separate by 20 centimeters, and that's basically created the base. So we took a little bit out of the space without compromising on the space inside. The second element which came over there and said, it will be nice to have some connecting rooms. Then connecting room was a little bit more complicated because of the structure. Now, the structure, and the reason why I mentioned the structure is fairly simple, because ECOS has 2 ways to be built. It can be built, traditional ways, or it can be built through modular, like a Lego. Okay? So if you do, obviously, connecting door, it's a little bit more complicated. Ask Lego, they know exactly what they did. When they did the movie, they had a few trouble putting the pieces together. That's exactly the same concept. So most probably, based on the numbers of connecting rooms, or we will go more traditional, or we will go more modular, based on the final design which will be selected by the owner.
Laurent Voivenel, he is the CEO of Hospitality Management Holdings, talking to Lucy Taylor down at the ATM today. It's a new hotel chain. Diversification from luxury hotels into what's being called no-frills bed and breakfast services with an eco-friendly setup.